Nick looked at me and said, "Bro, you're a dumbass."
Hey.
And the next day, I was like, "Bro, I'm a dumbass."
You're right. You're
Come
right.
on, dog.
Yeah. So all right, everybody. What's up to No BS, the culture's one and only podcast for physical, mental, financial health. It's your boy Quez.
Nick.
And Todd.
Welcome, welcome. I want to start with talking about what does it mean to be financially healthy? So, opening the question, I'll start with Todd. Todd, what's it mean to you to be financially healthy?
Financially healthy for me, at least, means that I have the ability to take care of any situation that might be needed. So bills are taken care of. I've got a little bit of money at least to have for emergency situations, but not have to be worried about missing any payment, get my car repoed, anything like that. That's what it means to me, at least, to be financially healthy.
I'm on the same boat, bro. Make sure it's a roof over our heads when we go to sleep at night, when we wake up. I got transportation, food in the fridge. Kids ain't screaming hungry, ain't skinny, bones, you feel me?
Say I'm in the same boat pretty much as y'all are. Making sure bills are taken care of, family's taken care of. If I'm able to support myself and my kids and my family and would do it without stress, then I'm financially healthy. So that's my take on it. We got the dictionary definition.
I actually found one from Experian. I thought it was pretty good, especially for what we're trying to talk about. Said that financial health is the current state of your monetary situation, such as your credit, debit, savings, investment, and your income. While this concept focuses on the state of your finances, its implications are all-encompassing. The stress of poor financial health can wind up affecting both your physical and mental health. Even though it is a single topic, it's basically everything we want to talk about in itself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that mental health part.
It leads to depression.
Yeah, yeah.
You worried about making ends meet every day, bro. That will kill your psyche.
I mean, especially with the industry that we're in. We're already in a real tough industry. It's the restaurant industry. You know, it's already a high-stress environment, and when we're barely making ends meet, that nobody in our field has got the best mental state.
Oh, no, it's high-pressure situations. Be ready to fight everybody in that building.
Can't take the heat, get out the kitchen.
Man, and it's hot.
What'd you learn about finances growing up, Nick?
School? Nothing, bro. How to balance the checkbook, and
I didn't even learn that.
Bro, it wasn't even, like, extensive learning of it. It was, you do this, this, and this. That's how you do it. School nowadays is tripping because they need to teach people this because my parents really didn't know other than like, hey, you get that dollar, you better save it. Okay, but what if I want this? Well, buy it, but what you gonna do next week when you ain't got that dollar? It's like, well, okay, cool, but other than that, bro, it was all my own research, learning the hard way. You feel me? So that's all I got for background. What's up?
Actually, have y'all heard? I can't remember if it's in Florida or Texas, but they just passed where in order to graduate high school, you have to pass a financial literacy test exam. So they're making a requirement that you have to have a bare minimum of an understanding of how to do personal finances, which I think is great because I'm in the same boat as you. I didn't learn it. I didn't even take a personal finance class in high school. I don't know if it's required or not in Tennessee, but I never took one. So
I had one.
You did?
But balance the checkbook.
Yeah, and that was it. Yeah. So I was excited to hear about that. I think that's something that all of America should at least require because, like I said, I'm in the same boat as him. I didn't learn anything. And on top of that, I didn't learn very good things from my folks. I was told that if you have it, spend it because it's not going to be there forever.
Can't take it with you.
Yeah, can't take it with you. But in the same breath, I've found through practicing that you prove it, by spending what you got, you're never, you're proving that it's not going to be there. Which has put me in tight spots before because I'm just constantly spending. And at when I was learning, it wasn't, well, you need to spend it on your car payment. You need to spend it on your health insurance. You need to spend it on this. It was, if you want it, buy it. Money's not going to be there. So I'm buying alcohol, I'm buying drugs, I'm buying this, that, and the other that is useless for me when I grow up. And, that I came to that realization real hard when I had all my payments that I needed. And I'm like, shit, I've been working, but I ain't got no money right now.
Broke.
So, quick follow-up question on that. So, do y'all feel like it should be more up to, like, lawmakers need to make it more mandatory to teach financial health, or should it be more up to the parents?
Both.
Yeah, I think it should be both. I mean, I think, unfortunately, because of the situation that is already at hand, Nick, my parents, they don't know how to teach it in the first place. They told him something good, save your money, but in terms of actually being financially literate,
it was nothing.
That's nothing. Yeah. So I think it has to start with the government where they can put together that plan and say, like, this is what your kids need to know in order to be financially literate. But then once those kids are financially literate, that's when they can start teaching their kids to be financially literate and don't necessarily need to rely on any high school, public school course to do that. But I think there's such a lack of knowledge right now. If we just said, parents, you need to teach your kids, they'll be like, well.
But they come with research.
Yeah.
They have to put in that work to make sure that their kids are set up for a bright future. That just because they don't know is no excuse.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's like, when is the buck gonna stop? Like, you're not financially literate. Well, then, are you gonna make sure your kids are, or are you gonna let them grow up like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At some point, you got to learn for yourself.
That's true.
I think if we put it on the government, it needs to be addressed that there is a disparity among education, in certain regions or whatever. So, how are you going to make sure that everybody's getting the same? Because I think if you're already in a good situation, you're already learning that stuff in school.
Yeah.
The good schools teach you that stuff. What are we going to do to make sure that low income, inner city youth are getting the same access to resources and knowledge that you might get at a private school?
Well, they come with the parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, you know this, that the inner city schools are lacking this. Well, are you going to keep letting your kids lack it? Or are you going to put your foot forward and do something about it? Hey, man, it's nothing to pick up a book. Read. Learn something. You know what I'm saying? We all got smartphones. Everything we read on the internet is not true. Of course not. But you know what's right from wrong. You know what struggles you went through. Teach them what not to do. And that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, that and doing what most people don't want to do. Y'all ever watch C-SPAN?
C-SPAN.
Yeah. Yeah. Going to those places, talking to those people, like, we could sit here all day and parents can sit at home all day and say, well, they need to do this and they need to do that, but that's not doing anything unless your voice is being heard, which I'm not saying go to C-SPAN, but
no, of course not.
There are routes that those parents can take in order to actually communicate what they think they need, what they think their kids need, instead of just, sitting there and criticizing it and saying, well, I would have done this, I would have done that. And it's like, well, okay, then be a voice, go do it.
Well, go to city council.
Exactly.
Go put work in your community.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, you know? Yeah, you gotta, it takes a community to raise a kid. Is that what they said?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Village.
A village.
Village.
Yeah. Modern day, colloquial terms. But that's the point, though. Like, we can't get that effectively done if we just expect the government to do it.
Sure. I mean, you can't count on the government for everything. Your people got different interpretations of what the government do for them and what they don't do. So,
True.
Nick, I think you hit a great point. Everybody's got a smartphone these days.
Mm-hmm.
Do some research on Google. Get on Investopedia.com and just start looking up terms. All those terms that we don't know because we were never taught.
Mm-hmm.
What's to stop us? If you care about your kids and their future and them being better than you, put the work in now. So what's to stop you from learning what you didn't learn? Yeah, you probably should have learned it at a younger age, but
We're
that part's
here now.
done and over with. We
But I
here
mean,
now, yeah.
For real though, because think about it, if you go to high school and ask freshmen or even sophomores to tell you about credit, what they gonna say? What you
Yeah,
think
I
they
would
gonna
say
say?
seniors too.
Yeah,
I was a
But-
senior. I was told credit is bad. Like
Right.
you
Yep.
don't mess with credit, don't do that. And then now
didn't
and
realize you need credit
Yep.
for
get a
everything
car,
or
get a
house.
apartment, house, whatever you want.
Get
Even
22 and you can't do nothing.
Right.
no. So yeah, I don't think they know much. Unless you're in these areas, private schools, like you were saying, where it's a little bit better off, not inner city schools. Like I went to Hillsborough,
Mhm.
and yeah, I think it was about 90% African American inner city schools, and they did not give a damn. Not the kids. I'm talking about the teachers, the staff, the admin. They did not care, and you could see it.
Bro, I went to Franklin Special School District, bro. Winston County Schools, bro. Like, it's a great county school district in America, but they still don't teach you what you need to know and get you set up for a life after high school.
Mhm.
It's like they pass you on, wait, you better go to college or you're not going to know nothing, or you better go get a job and hopefully you make it. Like, man, start teaching kids trades.
Mhm.
You set them up better.
I always think that was a terrible decision. I don't know how many years ago that they made when they decided to take trades, teaching
school.
trades out of public school. I think that was a terrible decision and has led to a lot of poverty, unnecessary poverty, because people say they can't find a job, and it's like, well, if you knew how to weld, you could be making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like underwater welding, even though it's dangerous, they get paid like $300,000 a year.
I'm trying to learn how to weld.
Hey man, it's
Right
a
now.
good thing to do. But it's,
I'm underwater.
yeah, it's a good thing to
Look,
know just personally, I mean, and professionally. It's a good job. If you ever want to build something, if we want to try and build something for this, and that, then that's money saved right there. Because we're not having to go out, pay a fabricating company to do it themselves.
For sure.
You're right.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's something that everybody can do to make it better for the next generation, and that's what we got to do. We got to start focusing on how we're gonna make it better for the next generation, because what we got going on right now ain't working.
Hey, look,
Yeah.
I'm
That
still
ain't it.
learning. I'm trying to get paid.
Yes, sir. All right, so what immediate actions are we gonna start taking to help ourselves, to help each other, to help our families, kids, whatever situation we're in? What's some steps that we can start taking today? As we're calling out our communities to do better, what are we going to do to do better?
Well, first and foremost, educate myself on everything that I need to know about financial literacy. And then with that, communicate it with people, teach people. You, Todd, y'all teach me, you never know. And once we get this word out, we can get in the community and teach inner city kids.
Mhm.
Hold a little fundraiser or just a thing where they can come out and learn classes. Why not?
I agree. We got to talk about it. I think all subjects that we're talking about, except for maybe physical health, it's kind of almost like a taboo about it, where it's like, well, it's a thing, but just don't think about it. Like it'll be all right. Just take care of what you need to immediately, and things will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't talk about the ramifications, both mentally or financially. Like, yeah, I can pay go from paycheck to paycheck and pay my immediate bills, but then when my car's transmission blows,
What happens?
I'm hoofing it. I got my thumb out. I'm trying to get it. I ain't got no money for that. But that's the thing. It's because people don't talk about
They
that.
don't plan
No,
for it.
they don't plan. And I think, Nick, you're exactly correct. It's something that we just have to start talking about, and then we can go from there. Like you said, reach out to, inner city schools or non-inner city schools. Like you said, you went to Franklin and still didn't know anything.
Yeah, I mean, just get in the community. Reach out to churches. They always have little things, have kids there,
Mm-hmm.
Go, i.e. the hood. You know what I'm saying? That people have a disclaimer about. But, man, look, just rally the kids. Talk to the parents first. Hey, look, we're doing this. We're going to hold this seminar about this. Bring your kids out. Free. Have food. Have drinks. You know what I'm saying? But teach them like a workshop.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I think you said it a minute ago, Nick. Like, pick up a book.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna challenge us to do. We're gonna pick up a book. We're gonna start reading. We're gonna start learning. Listeners, y'all hold us accountable. Hit us up in the comments section. Ask us what we're reading. We want to be visible. We want to be impactful. We want to help somebody along the way. So
Let us know if you find a good book that y'all read and you're
Right.
like, yo, I think this is super prudent. Let us know.
definitely, for sure, we're gonna get on the grind. With the whole premise of this podcast is that we're starting off, from
Nothing.
very little. I
Very
won't say
little.
nothing, but
Yeah, very little.
Very little. And we're determined to make it somewhere, and we're determined to bring some people with us. So, as we started this, we made a few business moves. We opened up a LLC to kind of handle ourselves and whatnot. So I want to touch on just kind of what we learned so far, how we got to where we are, where did we start, what steps did we take, So, Nick, you want to?
Honestly, bro, about the business LLC, bro, I really didn't know nothing about it until I started looking into it. If it was how do you build business credit, I had no idea what steps you were supposed to take. I thought just because you had an LLC and went to a bank, you got a bank loan. No, like that's not it.
Not even close.
I wish
Yeah.
it was that easy.
Right? Is a thing called a DUNS number where you have to open up for it's the platform for you can build your business credit profile and get net 30 accounts, which are accounts where you can pay every 30 days. They got net 60s, net 90s, all of that. But you have to have good business credit. And what I'm struggling is like how do we start? It's like I asked you guys, like, y'all got any idea? And it was like, yeah, man, I'm stumped too.
Yeah, no.
That's a hard thing.
Like, but slowly and surely, we're starting to learn things about the business side of things.
Step number one was just creating the LLC,
Tennessee.gov.
Tennessee.gov, and creating the profile on there, filling out all the forms. We use that and filed for an EIN number that gives you your taxpayer identification number that you're going to use, kind of like your Social Security number, but for your business. We use that. We applied for the DUNS account, and now we're at the process where we're starting to build up that credit. So we're looking into different avenues to do that. As we learn it, we're going to share it with y'all. But open book about where we are right now. We got the first couple steps out the way. We're starting to learn a little bit more about building credit and stuff like that. Opening up a business bank account, taking that DUNS number and our EIN and our
Articles
of organization, and creating a business bank account. You can do that at pretty much any bank that you want to. Look into interest rates and what kind of requirements that they have. Different banks operate differently. So it's all based on just what works best for you. So we're figuring out what works best for us, and then we're going to start growing from there.
And all we have to do for that, for the listeners, all you got to do is just walk into your bank, and the majority of the banks that you go to, you just ask for a pamphlet for accounts, and they'll have all that info for you. So then, that's what we're doing, just getting all those, comparing and contrasting what we think will work best for us. And everybody's different. Everyone's situation's different. So when we do find what we're going to go with, I wouldn't say that might be the best ones for y'all. And even the three of us want to do our own different business interests through this. And each one of those might not even be the same as our main LLC. So it's, again, important about doing your research, finding out, what you need and what you think is best for you. So,
Right. And don't get discouraged. It's not that hard. It's pretty much set in stone, man. You just got to do the work.
I think a lot of people kind of get in their head like, oh, this is a business, like, there's a lot of risk in it, it's going to be a lot of money, and it can be if you want to take those routes where you go to a private company to get a business manager to help you start everything. Yeah, you're going to be paying
Costs
out the
money.
wazoo, but like we said, half the stuff we did was free, and we made basically a one-time payment to get the actual business
License.
Yeah.
So,
and then that's it.
Also, it comes down to investing
Mm-hmm.
effectively into yourself and your business. So what we did, we got our LLC done, all that kind of stuff. As we're trying to grow, you can throw money at this, that, and the other. You can hire attorneys and jump the gun and do stuff that your business isn't in the position for quite yet.
And I'm ready
And
for
you're in the hole.
Yeah. Or you can, take it and you got to be smart with your investment. So our investment is this. Our investment was a high quality studio. Shout out Tom and To the Moon Creative.
Yes, sir.
And,
fantastic.
making
place.
our podcast look fantastic. That's our initial investment. And yeah, it is an investment and we're not going to see a return for it immediately. You got to understand that
It's a
you're going to be
process.
you're going to be putting in on the front end.
Mm-hmm.
But the goal is to get it all back on the back
Hey
end.
man,
So-
slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah,
sir.
doesn't it though?
So far in our research and everything that we've learned so far, what investments have you found? What different ways and avenues to make money for yourself or your business have you run into so far?
Go ahead, bro.
I found some easy ones that you really don't have to do a lot on. That's guaranteed returns, CDs. Give from the bank, not compound disc players, but it's an investing account that you put however much money you want in, depending on the bank that you have. It requires a different minimum, but you can choose the year for that you do it for. So say you put 5,000 in for 5 years, and it will compound on itself, and then at the end of the 5 years you get it back, and you haven't had to do anything aside from that initial money in. And I think that's a great personal way to make a sound investment, one that has next to no risk, and can increase however much you want. And I know my dad used to have rolling ones, where as soon as the money would come out multiplied, he would put that directly back in. Got to the point where he had to take them all out and use them. But it's an easy way to keep making it. Or you can, say I'm going to put 5,000 in, and then once it multiplies, you take all that extra out, you put 5,000 back in. So it's just a constant stream of income that you can plan out accordingly if you do it the right way. But I found that personal finances might not necessarily be the best route for business finances, because especially if we're starting up, we put 5,000 in, who's to say, well, we're not going to need that 5,000 within 5 years. But at least it's a solid investment for personal finances. There are bad investments that I'm sure we've all seen people make.
Yeah. Another good one I've found so far is, there's a couple different online tools that you can use and link it to your card and invest your round up pretty much whenever you swipe your card and make a payment.
Yeah.
And take that little, if it's $2.87, take that 13 cents, round it up to $3 and put it in an investment. So there's a couple different ones. You're free to do your research on those. I think those are just
So
really
it's
simple,
like
really easy ones.
What is it called? Seed-Fi.
Yeah,
It does
I think
that.
that's
So
one of them.
So every, when you get paid, it take, maybe say you set it up for $20 a week. It say you do it for, 2-3 months. Yeah, you have a few $100. You feel me? So it's not too strenuous on your mental to try to make sure that you save that money, but it's saving it for you, and you're adding interest on it. You're not missing that money because it's just $20.
Here
Which
and there.
$20 is a lot to some people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna knock that, but something that you
But
can
it's whatever
spend-
you can.
Man, you
So
can
if it's
spend more than
$10
that
for you,
at
it's
going in a store buying junk.
shit. Buying gas right now, they're not even going to get you anything.
Definitely. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to do it. We can list 1,000 ways to make investments. I think the important part is that we start learning to make investments. Whatever way you do it, you got to pay yourself first. So make an investment of some kind, whatever works for you, whatever amount works for you. If it's $20 a week, $5 a week, $100 a week, whatever you can afford, do something to pay yourself. I think that's what a lot of us are missing, is that we don't pay ourselves first. We're stressing about bills and car payments and gas prices and all that kind of stuff. You got to pay ourselves first. Um, and, you know, and like Nick was hitting on, you know, we spend the money anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We don't pay ourselves first. We claim that we're stressing about bills, but then we go in the store and buy random junk food and,
Buy a
you
new
know,
watch.
yeah, buy coffee every day and 6-pack of sodas and whatever. So, yeah, it's just finding that way to pay yourself first. And
Start
making
a
sure that you're
savings
taking
account.
care of your future.
I used to not have a savings account. I opened one like a year ago, and I hadn't had one. I just, you know, for two reasons. One, I didn't have a big enough stream of income compared to the bills that I had to actually have a
Save the
savings
money.
account. But, and I'm sure a lot of people would say that too, but I've found, as both of y'all mentioned, if I had, when I got paid, here's $20 into a savings account, you know, next paycheck, here's, you know, I got $40 I can throw in there right now. That would have been a big help. That people try and justify like, oh, well, I don't have that money ability. And, you know, from my situation when, you know, been on the streets, I got $20 that I can throw away. You know, I'm spending $20 on a little bag, you know, I could not do that. I'm smoking, you know, a pack of cigarettes a day. I could cut that out.
Mhm.
You know, and there's always something that you could do, you know, to find that $10 to put away. That
Hey man,
$20
the
to
biggest
put away.
issue for people is fast food though.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you got food at home. You went grocery shopping and spent $700 on groceries because it's so high.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of taking the time out and preparing food for yourself, you're gonna hit the drive-through and spend $20 to $30 anyway. It's like, what
that's
sense
funny.
does that make?
It doesn't make any sense, but people do it. I do it. Every time we go,
All the
every
time.
Wednesday we go to the grocery store, and every Wednesday night we're at the bar.
It's like,
why are we doing that? We bought wine, we bought beer, we got food at the house, we got it all, but no, we're at
you just spent another $100 for no
yeah,
reason.
yes. I don't know what you mean, you know. And people say, well, you got to treat yourself. And it's like, yeah, you do, you know, but
But plan for that,
yes, plan for that.
not just impulsive.
Mm-hmm. And then say, well, I don't have any money, and it's just because of my bills. And it's like, well, no. If you look at it, you hit the store, or you hit the restaurant or a bar or whatever, you know, 3 or 4 times this week.
And spent $100.
Yeah, minimum. Like if you go to fast food, yeah, you go 3 or 4 times, you might hit that 100. But we don't do that. We go to a restaurant where, you know, it's, you know, and you know, I'm partially to blame. I really like nice alcohol, so most of the tab comes from me. But you know, I don't have to do that. And I'd be saving just that much more money.
Yeah. And I mean, it's also about changing the mindset. So, you know, like you said, treat yourself. Definitely everybody needs some way to deal with just daily stress. But, you know, you got to think about it different. If you cut back on going to the bar and put it in a savings account instead, you're still treating yourself.
Mhm.
Because in a year or two, when you take your newlywed on a trip
Mm-hmm.
and you can go on that trip and come back and not have to worry about being behind on bills, like that's treating yourself.
Mm-hmm. Don't do what you want to do now so you can do more of what you want in the future.
Yeah.
Taken from our backgrounds and how much or how little we knew about financial health and financial literacy and stuff like that growing up, how can people who relate to those situations start today? How will we start today to start thinking about, you know, long-term financial health, financial literacy? You know, if you were giving advice to somebody.
So I just started a new bank with Marianne. We started our own joint account so that we can have all of our bills and stuff come from there. And it also will put on paper through our transactions, and you know, we can look it up and we can see our money out and our money in, which I think that's a big part of even understanding the situation that you're in the first place. And that was a big part of me understanding, because often I would be like, well, I'm out of money. I don't know how, you know, I just got paid. And then I go and I look at that when it's all down on a piece of paper and realize like, okay, yeah, I paid my rent. I paid my car. I should still have like $1,000 left over. And then I look and I'm like, bar transaction, gas station transaction. And then I start realizing like, oh, it's not that I'm broke. It's that I'm just spending all my money in places that I shouldn't be spending it in. I started that account with her. I also got another personal account with First Bank, and they actually have a financial advisor there, and then you can talk to, and they will help you plan for that. They're helping me plan how I need to invest my money into my own life. Then when they're not talking about, go buy stocks in this, go buy stocks in that. They're just saying like, hey, this is your bills. This is what you can spend. And that's the actions that I'm taking to see where it is that I am superfluously spending money, which anybody can do. When I was at Bank of America, they had that to offer. So, if you have a bank account, anyone can walk in and talk to a banker about those things. But people get a little in their head, bank's a bad place. They're there to take your money. And, I won't say that all banks are great and they're not trying to take your money, because there's definitely, there are a lot of banks that are willing to help you, because, the more money you have, the more money they have. So that's definitely one route that I'm taking to try and better myself. Because they'll teach you those things that you don't know, surprisingly, that we didn't learn when we were kids.
Yeah. Well, me personally is just like you said earlier, cutting out unnecessary spending. Like, I smoke, but if I cut back from 2 to 3 packs a week to 1, that's $16, almost
week.
20 a week that you're saving. Or I like firearms, like not for no destructive purpose. Like, I just like the sport, and everyone knows like that's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about just Glocks themselves are $700-800. Like, I used to have a real problem with just going to get them and want to go shoot and all of that stuff, but I had to cut down. Like, pandemic ammo was through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Like, from a box of 30 used to be 20-some bucks to 50 to 60, and I would buy them. Yeah, like it's just bad, man. Like, but talking to my girlfriend, it was, all right, look now, you spent $1,000 on firearms and ammo last month. Like, we could have used that for our savings to take a trip, take the kids somewhere. So just cutting out unnecessary spending. Like, that habit you have, cut it out. Try to find a way to not have that habit no more. Of if it's going to a bar and drinking, smoking, Newports or whatever you may smoke, or
On that vape,
yeah, like,
$20 a pop, and killing
And-
me, dude.
and you'll feel better.
True.
Like, physically, you'll feel better. So it's a win-win situation. Like, just even if you don't have those habits, like fast food, like we said earlier, restaurants, just candy, just things that you don't really need, don't spend money on it. You know what you need and you know what you want. Spend the necessary money on your needs and not on the wants. And with that money you save, you can get some wants later on in life because you'll be more set up for it.
Yeah, big one's coffee for people.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Caffeine, energy drinks.
Energy drinks. Yeah, y'all drink energy drinks all the time.
Yeah, like, so.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting from both of y'all is just kind of having a better understanding. First of all, of your situation.
Mhm.
You know, what, like you said, money in, money out. How much money are you bringing in? How much of it are you actually spending? The difference between wants and needs. You know, are you spending money on things that you need? Rent, you need. Coffee, maybe not so much. Cigarettes, definitely not.
Definitely.
No, sir. Do you want them? Yes. But
yeah, but
not
it's,
a need.
It's all taking the time and just kind of, you know, as you grow, as you mature, as you know, become determined to be more financially stable, you're going to be honest with yourself and have that base understanding of where you are in life, what you're spending your money on. That way you can determine what you need to do different. You know, if it is spending money on things that you want and don't necessarily need, then that's a great starting point. So you can start looking out for when you're doing that. Another thing is having the tools, you know, going into the bank. I'm willing to bet that very few people actually know that they can walk into a bank and talk to a financial advisor.
Facts.
Oh, yeah.
That's a tool that, you know, a lot of people just don't know that they have available to them.
Mhm.
So, you know, getting out, doing your research, understanding what tools are available to you that you probably already pay for in some kind of way. And you just don't even know that you have those tools available. So, go out, talk to your bank, ask them what services they offer. As a customer, what do you get that comes with that? It's more than just a checking account at most banks.
Yeah.
The library is a great place. Go to the library, start reading books. The internet's a fantastic place. You can learn whatever you want on the internet.
All of those free.
All of them
Free. Everyone likes free.
If it's free, it's for me.
Yes, sir.
So, just understanding where you are and what you have available. Fantastic starting point. Something that we all need to start doing with ourselves, with each other, being open and honest. As we're having these conversations, we can start getting into it a little bit more, talking to each other, asking each other how much unnecessary money we spent the last week.
Oh yeah, people got to realize, bro. Like talking about your money and just to yourself is a tough situation. You start to realize, like, oh, I'm not making enough, or I'm broke. And that's a hard term for people to realize, broke. Somebody call somebody broke, they're ready to fight. Like, bro, you broke. Like, nah,
They
you
don't
broke.
like it.
Like, but
sometimes you are.
yeah, in reality, you're broke, but you can take steps to fix it.
Yeah.
You got to get upset with nobody but yourself, really.
It is. It is a hard thing to talk about. Especially if you have a significant other, your girlfriend, my fiance. Everybody knows that they don't spend their money the best way that they could.
Yeah.
And accepting that, is the biggest first part that you have to do in trying to build anything financially, to know that you're not doing it right. And that it's okay, because not a single one of us here spent money the right way, or even still currently spend it the best way that it could be spent.
Of course not.
But, as soon as you accept that, then you can actually start, like you said, changing that. But it's hard.
It is. Also
Take work.
I think having like us as a group, as men, that we can be open and honest with, having somebody on the outside looking in, like somebody who's going to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
And, tell you when you're spending too much. There's times
Somebody that's going to keep it real with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, realness is something that you can't pay for. If I come with you and be like, hey man, be straight up with me, and you be straight up with me, I ask for that. It's the truth. It's
How
nothing.
you gonna get mad?
Like, you can't get mad, but it's the truth. Like, take it, analyze it, and figure out what you were doing the wrong way. And most of the time, he's gonna give you Todd is gonna give you the steps to take to get out that situation, if they know how, or the tools to y'all both can help you get out that situation. It's all about helping one another, but a lot of people don't do that. I don't understand it, especially when it comes to money. People think money is just like everything. Like, bruh, if you're healthy and living and breathing, that's all that matter, bro.
Yeah, it's good. And then when people call you out, listen, me and Nick was out a couple weeks ago, and I spent $70 on something that I definitely didn't need. And Nick looked at me and said, bro, you're a dumbass.
Hey.
And the next day I was like, bro, I'm a dumbass.
You're right. You're
Come
right.
on, dog.
Yeah, so
Especially for what it was for.
but what I got from that, I haven't made that mistake since, and I bet you I won't ever make that mistake again.
No, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir.
Well, that's the important thing that you learn.
Yeah.
'Cause, and truly learn, because I've learned that I need to stop vaping for I've known that for a while now, but I don't truly know, because I'm still doing it. Because then I'm justifying, I don't really need it, but I'm gonna get it this time. And it's like, no, you don't. You don't know.
Yeah, it won't be that bad.
No.
I'll stop tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll stop tomorrow. This one more time, and then no more.
Yeah, I'll save this tomorrow. No, bro,
You
just
ain't
save it
doing
now or stop today.
Yeah.
Hold on, bro. Quarter of the day. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
yeah,
we
yeah.
gotta give the people something.
What
Don't
you
y'all
got
want,
for us?
y'all want to know something, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what you got for us?
So our quote of today is by Robert Kiyosaki. Financial freedom is available to those who learn about it and work for it. said mean to y'all?
I think that means what we've been talking about. You
All
know,
the time.
if you can sit there all day and just say, I want financial independence. I want to do this. And if you don't do anything,
not gonna happen.
you're not going to get anything. But as we said, you could walk into your bank, walk into the library, pick up any financial book, walk into your bank, talk to that banker. You're now working for that, what you want. You want to be independent financially. I need to know how. I need to go find out how. And it's important. You're not going to get it done unless you go do it.
It's not gonna fall out the sky.
No.
Yep.
That's a hope and a prayer. Put in the work. Put in the time. Take the time to learn it. Put in the work for the steps to create financial freedom. And you'll get there. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be next year.
It might even take a few years.
But when you get there, you're gonna look back on that journey and be like, okay, yes, I can dig that because I actually put in that work.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can, guess what, teach people.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't do nothing, it's not gonna happen.
Nothing.
It's not gonna happen.
I think for me, the most important part of that whole entire quote is that word, that one little word, and.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many people who work their asses off and make the same mistakes day in and day out, don't ever get nowhere. And they don't understand why they're working so hard and not getting, because they're not taking the time to learn about it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not
Yes,
taking
sir.
the time to learn what to do different next time.
So they just toil away.
Yeah. People who have all the knowledge, but don't want to put in the work. So, it's that and is so important in that quote. You have to learn about it and work for it.
Yes, sir.
And when you do both of them, that's when you're going to get somewhere.
That's when success happens.
Go hand in hand. Hey, man, look, shout out to the audience for coming on this journey, on this episode, man. Go follow us on social media at No BS Podcast.
And let us know if you got any comments on things that you've learned, books that you're going to read, things that you want us to mention in any financial aspect. We'll get onto it either on the next episode or via comments and reply to y'all directly. So let us know what y'all are thinking.
Awesome. We're always taking comments about, different topics that y'all want to hear about, that you want us to get on here and talk about, as we're wrapping up our introduction series. Anything that you want us to touch on, y'all let us know. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Let's go.
Let's
Let's
go,
go.
boys.